All right, good morning, agents. This is Kevin Lauren. I'm the Director of Training and Marketing here at Alta Realty Group. And today we are going to go over what I would consider is the perfect mix of technology and old school real estate marketing, which, it's tried and true. Many different things that realtors have been doing for years and years and years are still really important. So today we will not be joined by broker Bill Seitz. He is in Barbados. As many of you know, his passion project is he is a World Surf League judge. And so he's actually the head judge for North America. So he is out there doing his passion project. Not sure if any of you guys know this, but Bill and I were both competitive surfers, competitive amateur surfers. Did a little stint with pro surfing in the early mid 90s, but that was a long time ago. So anyway, today we are going to go without Bill. So I'm going to share a couple of things here. As Bill usually does, he shares a few little tidbits with us. So we won't have his broker tip today, but we will have a couple of other fun things. So let me share this screen with you guys. So the first thing I want to show you is the 10-year treasury. So look at that drop. We're down almost as low as we've been in the last 6-8 months. So really, really good news for us as realtors. Great reason to pick up the phone, call people who have been on the fence and waiting for rates to drop and let them know, hey, this is what the graph looks like. This, of course, is the 10-year treasury, which rates generally match. So as you see the 10-year drop, rates generally drop as well. So great idea to always keep your finger on the pulse by checking the 10-year treasury. Bring it up daily so you know what the dips and what the spikes look like. And as you do that, you understand the mortgage market a lot better. So great idea to make sure that you're always pulling that up. Second thing that Bill likes to do is he likes to share with us his real estate meme of the week. And so this one's kind of funny. So this is the lender. Can you explain the $15,000 cash deposit you made into your checking account last week? And the buyer.
Uh,
So the lenders always want to see the different cash and the reasons and all of the different funds that have gone into your bank account and the explanation. So that was kind of a fun one, I thought. So we'll get rid of that, get rid of the 10-year. So the next thing that I want to do, just remind you guys of before we get into today's presentation is every month we do come out with a blog post. And so it's even if you're not part of our program too with the Sierra Interactive System, you still have access to use this blog post. So this happens to be Randy Johnson's website, and even if you don't have your own website within the argca.co framework, you can still just go to argca.co and pull up this website and click on the blog. And we always have our ARG monthly newsletters here. So we're almost at the end of February here. So the March newsletter will be coming out sometime next week. So if you click on this, you can send, and then you can copy that, right click it, copy it, and you can send this to your clients. And so why would we do that? Well, part of our theory at our Alta Realty Group is to share meaningful, valuable information with our clients and make sure that we have a reason to follow up with them. So every month you at least have one reason to contact people on your list, especially your A-listers, people that you're working with, especially people that you might have been working with, and they say things like this: oh, I think I'm going to wait for rates to drop, but thank you very much. So those people are your smoking hot A-list. You need to be able to remind them that you're there. But you need to be able to do it in a way that's not pushy, that's not buggy. You are sharing valuable information with them, and it could be a 10-second conversation, but it goes something like this. Hey, John Smith, just wanted to let you know that I just emailed you my monthly newsletter, and it's about the true cost of home ownership and what people actually pay beyond the mortgage. Hope you find it interesting. Have a great day. You're not bothering anybody. You're just making sure that you are sharing something very, very valuable. So one thing that our agents that have access to the Sierra Interactive system have the ability to do is to send that in an email to everybody on their list. And what I do is I also provide this email lead-in. So the email just has some bullet points of what they can expect to read about in that blog post. And then we have a link to the blog post here. But it goes a little something like this. Dear John Smith, and of course the Sierra system inserts the first name of the lead right there using this merge field. So most buyers focus entirely on their monthly mortgage payment when calculating what they can afford. But here's what separates buyers who thrive from those who struggle. Successful homeowners budget for the complete picture from day one. I just read a fantastic breakdown of what smart home buyers plan for, and I wanted to share it with you. Beyond your mortgage, successful homeowners budget for insurance, taxes, maintenance, utilities, and those inevitable repairs. Understanding these costs up front is what allows you to build wealth through home ownership instead of feeling financially stretched. Boom, there's the link. Goes to this entire blog post, which literally goes over every single thing in a very, very well-written way, and then also has the sources. So then it has a couple of bullet points. Here's what the article covers. Why insurance and property taxes keep rising, even with a fixed mortgage. The real cost of maintaining major home systems. How to create dedicated house repair fund that turns surprises into manageable expenses. Why the 1% maintenance rule is outdated and what to budget instead. So, and then it just has a nice little summary, but it's very, very user-friendly. And if you can get into the habit of just doing that, that's something that we've talked about for literally years and years and years. This is the foundation of the ARG philosophy with respect to keeping top of mind and making sure that you are the realtor that they think of when it comes time for real estate transactions. So I'm going to shift gears and we're going to get into the bulk of the presentation today, which is taking those traditional things, and this is one of those, I would say, traditional things, and combining that with AI, which is what today, this February has kind of been AI month, if you haven't noticed. So we're going to see how that can fit into the entire overall winning formula that has worked for decades, right? So the simple answer is one that hasn't changed in decades. Your hyper-local, cutting-edge, unique value proposition, customized to fit your client's specific wants and needs. Couple this with clearly outlining the services that you'll deliver in your writing, providing your clients with more than you promised, under promise, over deliver, and walking your talk. Don't just talk the talk, walk the walk, walk the talk. So that's what it takes in today's hyper competitive real estate market, is that connection that results in repeat referral business for years to come. So this is literally, I mean, that little synopsis right there, and I will of course put this in the replay. Just read that over and over again. That is it's always been, this is what real estate's always been about. That little synopsis right there is golden. So learn it, know it, live it. So a little anecdote here was sadly, Next Home CEO James Dwiggins noted that he shared his experience searching for a home in Danville, California. And he said that there were more private listings than there were homes listed on the MLS, which was strange, but in a place like Danville, I guess it could be true. So if Dwiggins didn't have a friend who shared what was available, all those sellers would have missed out on having their home shown to an incredibly well-qualified buyer, very motivated buyer. So making matters worse, the agents who had listings on the MLS never even bothered to call him back. And I've seen this kind of too many times lately, and it blows me away. So the incompetent agent will no longer survive today's brutal market. And it just blows my mind that you would have a listing and someone would contact you and you wouldn't contact them back. That's just complete incompetence. Never do it. If you're part of Alta, that should just never, ever happen. So Jimmy Burgess, who is from Inman, identified a growing trend that is forcing part-timers and incompetent agents out of the business. So his little quote is, "This is the separation season. The agents who treat this as a full-time profession, the ones who understand contracts, negotiations, market shifts, and client psychology are standing out more than they have in a decade. Consumers want guidance, not guesswork." So going deeper into that, short attention span versus deep customization, we all know that people have short attention spans way more now than ever. Attention span of a gnat is the thing that everybody likes to say. But obviously in the past, people's attention spans were way longer. You would sit through a book. You would watch a movie. Kids these days, I've noticed that my kid can barely even watch a movie without picking up his phone and looking at his phone and getting sucked into a million different directions. And so it's not just the kids, it's grown-ups have also taken on this kind of attention span of a gnat thing. So, that is something that you need to understand. That complexity is something that you need to understand in today's consumer. Because today's consumer, today's first-time buyer is much younger than most of us on this call. And they're millennials and sub-millennials, whatever the heck you call them. So they have the ability, or they have the propensity to skim and scroll and go through things really quickly, right? So one little quote that this guy, Josh Rees, came up with is, "Attention is rented by the second." So true. So the current disconnect occurs when an agent gets a lead and then they overwhelm their lead with detailed CMAs, high-end property reports, plus information about themselves and about their companies and all their accolades and all the cool stuff that they've done. So all that client really wanted was a simple communication. So don't overwhelm your clients. That's something that you will definitely, it's just noise. So get them very concise, simple communications, especially at the beginning of this process when someone reaches out to you. Make sure that you're getting their needs met in a very, very concise way. Then you can always, further down the funnel, you'll see that they will ask for more information. You will provide more information. You will show them exactly what is expected and all of those different things. So this can also include old school strategies, just like open house signs, yard signs, brochures, boxes, all that kind of stuff, right? But at the beginning, you're going to make sure that you're getting some very concise information to your leads and your clients. So the equation shifts when they're ready to transact. So when they're ready to transact, that's when you want to get them that detailed information, how the transaction's going to work, what the negotiation process looks like, as well as transitioning from one home into another, what that looks like, how that shift works. So the process begins with your buyer or seller interview. So one thing that we talked about last week was using Plod, which is an AI tool that you pin to your lapel or you have on your desk while you're doing this buyer or seller interview. So use these two tools, right, to determine what matters most to your clients in terms of their lifestyle and how they're going to spend their time and where they are within their home, what their home means to them, what that all is about. So you're going to take that information in, you're going to distill that into what their needs and wants actually are. So also deep dive into what they would like to have. The needs are what they must have. The wants are what they would like to have. So after you've done this, then you present them with the detailed information about the service you offer and the benefits they provide, not before. Full order of operations here to do this in a very methodic way. So for sellers, make sure you're going to include your premium marketing plan. We at Alta, we've gone over marketing plans and the way you market listings and properties ad nauseum. So you can go back to probably 20 of our replay videos on our YouTube channel and find out all kinds of ways to do that. So the premium marketing plan I've drafted right here below is this is a simple one, but it's a cool synopsis of what you would do, right? So, and you guys can go through all this, but anyway, you will supply them with this comprehensive, what you can call premium marketing plan that lets them know this is exactly how I'm going to market your home, right? And so you could consider this the marketing checklist, right? So the way to use this is to determine which of the top 3 to 5 features listed above are the most important to your clients, and you're going to do that through that interview. So next, you're going to highlight what all brokers do, what Alta Realty Group does that is unique from competitors, and then the 3 things that you do that other agents don't do. And so that's going to be your unique value proposition that we've talked about for years. Also, you have to weave into their must-haves whenever you discuss this with them. Make sure that you understand their must-haves. Make sure that those are ingrained in your memory. So you're not coming off like somebody that doesn't understand what their must-haves are, right? So the buyer interview is, if you're not doing a 20 to 30 minute buyer interview where you determine the following, you will most likely end up showing them properties that they don't want. So that must include whether your buyers have been pre-approved, obviously, whether they are eligible for a down payment assistance, how they spend their time, in what rooms, and in what part of their homes are the most important, how many people are in their household, if they have pets, including their names, because everybody likes to know that their realtor understands them and remembers their pets' names. Goes a long way. What do they do for recreation? What are their hobbies? What do they like to do? Are they part of charities? Do they go to a local church? What are their things that really are important to them? Do they have kids that need to go to a certain school? These are all really important things to determine during that 20 to 30 minute interview. So, and also more importantly, you will have missed the opportunity to build that type of connection that earns the trust. What happens when you earn the trust? You get referrals. You get the recognition that you are the realtor, you're the go-to realtor in your farm, in your niche. So super important. So now those are all the things that's all traditional real estate, right? So now let's combine that with the winning AI secret you need to implement right now. So this is how you stand out in a sea of sameness. My recommendation is that you use the paid versions of ChatGPT and or Grok for this process. So you'll be using the AIs to create marketing and other collateral material that is attuned to your client's unique situation. Here's what to do using the master meta prompt methods that I outlined in a previous article that we talked about last week. So your master prompt, this is all about you and your business. The more detailed you can make it, the better your result will be. A minimum length should be at least 3-5 pages, somewhere in there. So examples of what to include: your name and your personal bio, all the cool stuff that you've done. And remember, we're not going to hit this stuff too hard, but your company and brand, Alta Realty Group, unique selling points. We're nimble, we're agile, we have the best of the best technological advancements for real estate, what types of clients we serve, team setup, even if you're a solo, list your title rep, preferred lender, transaction coordinator, any of the other business associates. I've trained all of you, if you go back into previous recordings, to have that business organization and have those partners that you can refer to and mention as your partners, right? Markets, where you operate, and what your typical client profile is. Products and services. Do you handle condos, probate, short sales, land, luxury? What do you do? Systems and workflows. Your steps for open houses, your listing launches, your buyer onboarding, all of those different things. Your brand culture, your values. What do you believe in? How do you show up? Your step-by-step systems for completing tasks, such as taking listings, conducting showings, writing offers, and staying in contact while the property is under contract. So that all will provide the AI with the context about who you are. So then, number 2, you can do a meta prompt based upon the information from your buyer and seller. So now your AI understands you, and the meta prompt allows you to customize your marketing, search and strategies based upon who your clients are. So never provide identifying information about your clients. Instead, describe them with a different name. What decade of life are they in? What types of professions? All that different stuff. Give the AI enough detail to work with, but absolutely you must maintain client privacy. So that's something that you should take seriously. So to do this, take the results of your buyer and seller interview, delete personally identifying information, and load it into the AI. Specifically identify it as your meta prompt. So the reason that we do that is AI obviously learns from itself, and we don't want the AI to learn those things, because literally you've seen, and we've all been doing this, if you just meeting somebody and you want to just do a Google search, well, Google's going to find out on the internet what other information is out there. You'll notice now that Google has an AI synopsis, and I swear to you, if enough people did this about a specific person, the stuff that you put into the AI will come up. You don't want to be that person. You want to maintain anonymity for your clients. You want to maintain that client privacy. So something that you may not think about it. So those are the things that we want to make sure that we're doing for our clients. So bottom line, give the AI as much information about their lifestyle as possible, top 5 requirements, include the type of neighborhood, schools, if relevant, all that kind of good stuff. Use ChatGPT for more conversational, emotional types of clients. Grok is best for those who want reams of data. So my recommendation is to provide your clients with both, that gives you double the customization, and you can combine the two, which is, I think, kind of the magic sauce there. So the secret sauce is that old school strategies that you're starting to place, but to really beat out your competition, have the AIs make the recommendations about how to best work with these clients, what to expect when you negotiate with them, plus any other factors that you're probably going to need to be aware of. And then old school married to AI customization is the secret to success in today's new and very competitive marketplace. So that's what we're trying to do here, guys. We're trying to take that old school real estate marketing 101, tried and true, and add this new technology. So again, we're not using the AI to replace what we've done. We're not using AI to make things completely different. We're using the AI to augment that tried and true real estate marketing formula. So I know we don't have Bill Seitz, our fearless leader, with us to give us his takeaways, but I hope you all have your own takeaways from today's presentation. And of course, if you have questions, you can contact me and love to talk about this stuff. Randy Johnson is meeting with me later today. He wants to implement a few of these things with the new listing, so excited to talk to you later on, Randy. And so all of you guys, I want you to make this week a very productive week. I want you to think about some AI that you can incorporate into your traditional real estate marketing. You don't have to do everything at once. Just try a few things here and there. But please do implement the strategies that we provide. It will help you. It will help your clients. And you will get the referral business because you will become the expert in your market. So with that said, get out there, make it a great week, a productive week, and we will see you all on the webinar next Wednesday. Bye-bye.